In this video, I'm going to be going through each one of these cases for the brand new Google Pixel Pro XL to find out which ones are the worst and which ones I think are worth their time. And I guarantee that you're going to find one case here you're going to absolutely love. I also want to give a huge shout out to all my subscribers for all your support, and if you're new here and you like what I'm doing, please hit that like button because it really helps out the channel. And as always, I will be putting product links and timestamps in this video's description so you guys can skip around. And make sure you stick around until the end of the video because I will be giving you my favorite case choices based on a few different categories. So grab your snacks, sit back and relax and enjoy the video. This case is made by THINBORNE. It's made of 600D Aramid fiber. It's super light, super strong, very thin, and it's also got Magsafe built in. And to top it off, it also comes with a tempered glass screen protector that I will be doing a scratch and a drop test on to see how durable it is. So let's check it out. So first off, I absolutely love the box presentation. It's made of a handmade wood that's also covered in a carbon fiber-like material. Very nice. And inside, we've got some important information and some pamphlets. Now this does have Magsafe built in, and they say that it will work with the majority of wireless chargers, but there also will be some that it may not work with, but we're going to test that out. So here is the case itself. Again, it also comes with a tempered glass screen protector that we will be installing and doing drop tests on. And we also get some installation wipes and tools. So again, here is the case. As you can see, it is super thin. It's very light, and it's made from Aramid fiber through and through. It's not coated in Aramid fiber. It's actually made of the Aramid fiber itself. And on the inside, you can see the Magsafe ring. It is very rigid. It doesn't bend and flex, but like some of the other cheaper TPU type cases. And because it does have that Aramid fiber, it will keep the fingerprints down to a minimum. So let's put this onto our phone. Simply snaps into place very nicely, and it's on the phone. You don't have to worry about your phone actually coming out of the case. Man, that feels really, it feels like there's no case on the phone. It's that thin. That is so nice. All the buttons have the cutouts on the side, so you can actually get a hold of the button itself without any coverings. If we take a look at from the side, you can see that it does have a slight, ever so slight raised edge around the front. And I will also show you this, what it looks like with the tempered glass screen protector on there. As you can see, it is super thin. If you like the feel of your phone without a case on it, you're definitely going to love this case. Not only is it going to add some scratch protection, but it's going to keep the sides and everything from getting all dinged up in case you happen to knock this against something or put it in your purse or anything like that. The case feels really nice in the hand. The sides are nice and smooth. It's not slick. It's very important. There's a difference between smooth and slick. The phone doesn't feel like it's just gonna slide out of your hand, but these sides are nice and smooth. So if we take a look at the top here, you can see that the antenna has a cutout. Most of it is covered on the top. On the side here, on the bottom, we have a big cutout for our charging port. And on the other side, we have another cutout for all of our buttons. On the back, it's got that really nice, soft Aramid fiber. Absolutely love that. And the case also actually comes up over the camera on the back itself to give it some extra protection there too. That is a really nice case. So again, if you happen to have a Magsafe charger, like I happen to have here, you can easily clip it onto the back and it starts to charge your phone. And it's on there really good. This case has a really nice, strong magnetic hold, so you don't have to worry about your Magsafe accessory just falling off the case. It's got one of the strongest magnetic holds that I've seen on the majority of the cases that I've actually tested. That is nice. Man, that's strong. I've tested out quite a few THINBORNE minimalist cases over the past few years, and they've all been super solid. I haven't heard anything bad about them, and I absolutely love the fact that they also include the tempered glass screen protector, so you can pretty much protect your phone 360 degrees. That is so nice. And I can show you that the case is on the phone really good, and the way that you're going to take this off is you're going to kind of press back in one of the corners of the case, and you see how it comes off the phone. But let me show you, let me press it back on the phone to show you how strong it's actually on there. That is a solid clip. So you definitely don't have to worry about the case just popping off the phone like some of the other cases. Now I also mentioned that the case is strong and it's also scratch resistant. So if you happen to put this in your pocket or your purse with your keys or some change, and the change or keys happen to, scratch up against the back of the case, you don't have to worry about the case getting damaged. And if you happen to see a little mark on the back like we do here, all you need to do is run your finger over it or just kind of wipe it off, and the scratch goes away. So now let's install the tempered glass screen protector, and the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to keep the case on the phone to act as a little guide for installation. So the first thing we need to do is to thoroughly clean off our screen with our alcohol wipe. Then we'll dry it off. Then you'll take these little guide stickers. We're going to put one on the bottom of the screen protector just like that, and the other slightly off center of the little camera hole so we can still see when we're lining it up. Then take your screen protector. We're going to peel off the bottom protector, again making sure that the camera cutout is going towards the camera on your phone. Peel that off, don't touch the screen. Then hold on to your stickers to help guide the screen protector onto the phone. Then once you have it where you want it, it should start to adhere to the screen, but you can kind of run your finger down the center. Take off your guide stickers. And if you see any bubbles like I have in the corner here, you can just kind of smooth it out with your finger. Wipe down the edges to just make sure. And we're all set. Looks like a really good alignment. We still do have a slight gap all the way around the screen for case compatibility in case you're going to be using some other cases. Looks really nice as far as touch. Feels nice and smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. The edges of the screen protector are also rounded off, so it feels nice and smooth when you run your fingers over the edges. And again, we do have that camera cutout on the top, so you don't have to worry about your facial recognition not working. As you can see, it works perfectly fine. No problems there. Yeah, works perfect. So let's test out our fingerprints. And it does look like the screen does a good job at fingerprint rejection. There's only very minor smudges that you can very easily just wipe away. So no issues there. As you can see, nice and clean. So now we're going to test out our fingerprint unlock. I just want to show you guys that I do have my facial recognition deleted. As you can see, it says tap to set up face unlock. So there is no face setup on here. It's only going to be for my fingerprints. And I will tell you, if you are having problems with the fingerprints, just go into your display. We're going to scroll down to the bottom. You're going to go into touch sensitivity and turn on your screen protector mode, and that'll turn up the sensitivity for your screen. So let's test out our fingerprints. Working good. Yep, fingerprints are working fine. Excellent. As you can see, the screen is crystal clear. Touch working perfectly fine. No issues there. So now let's take a look at the screen as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. So as you can see, there is a very slight rainbow effect. It's not horrible. If you're looking at it dead on like I am here, there's really no effect, but if you start turning or looking at the screen from different angles, that's when you start getting the rainbow effect. Definitely not a deal breaker, just something I wanted to test. And again, if we take a look at the phone from the side with the tempered glass screen protector on there, you can see now that the case is pretty much flush with the screen on the phone. Now you don't have to really worry about too much edge on the side of your phone because again, this is a minimalist case. It's supposed to make you feel like you don't even have a case on your phone. But with the screen protector and the case combination, your phone is pretty much covered 360 degrees. So everything seems to be working well with the screen protector, and now let's move on to the scratch and the drop test. So for this drop test, we're going to be dropping a 2.4 ounce steel metal ball at a starting height of 2 feet. If the screen protector doesn't crack, we'll move it up foot by foot until it eventually does. So here we go at 2 feet. Moving on to 3 feet. Moving on to 4 feet. 5 feet. 5 feet. So this screen protector lasted up until a 5-foot drop. Now let's move on to the scratch test. Now typically tempered glass starts to scratch around a MOUS hardness number 6, so we're going to start off the test with the number 5. Then we'll move on to a number 6. And then finally a number 7. So if you take a closer look, you can see that there are no scratches at the number 5. There are slight at the number 6 and a little deeper at the number 7. So scratch resistance seems to be pretty standard for tempered glass. So installation for the screen protector was really easy. It also does seem to be case friendly. It lasted up until a 5-foot drop, and scratch resistance seems to be pretty standard for tempered glass. So here we have the base Crystal Pro case. This case has been military grade drop tested up to 14 feet. So this case is crystal clear. It does have a very hard backing surrounded by a firmer rubbery type material. It's also got some protectors that you need to take out before we put this on our phone. So we'll put our phone inside the case. And it goes on the phone pretty nicely, feels good in the hand. It does have some grip to it. Buttons on the side, easily pressable, nice and clicky. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge all the way around the front of the phone. We also do have these little textured pieces on the inside of the case to help keep that rainbow effect down. And we also do have some bubble reinforcements in the corners to help with that drop protection. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button and our volume buttons on the side. And we have that really nice clear backing to help show off the color of your phone. And we have a raised edge around our camera lenses. Pretty nice clear case. I do like the fact that it is nice and grippy, feels good in the hand. And you can also wirelessly charge right through this case. So this is definitely a nice clear case if you want to show off the color of your phone instead of covering it up and get some extra drop protection for your phone as well. I would definitely recommend checking out the Crystal Pro. And then here we have the base POETIC series case. This case has been military grade drop tested up to 15 feet. So here is the case itself. It does have a 2-piece design. It's got a textured hard plastic backing surrounded by a firmer rubbery type material. So as you can see, these 2 pieces do actually come apart, and I actually like this better than some of the other 2-piece design cases because the inner portion of the case is more firm. It's not as flimsy as some of the other cases. So we'll put our phone inside the case here. Then you can take that harder outer plastic shell and just press it over the top of the back of your phone. And there you go. Feels nice in the hand. It does have some texture on the side to help with grip, which I like. Buttons on the side. Nice and clicky, easily pressable. If you take a look at it from the side, you can see there is a raised edge all the way around the front of the phone. It does add a little extra bulk to the phone, but it is getting some extra drop protection. We've got our lanyard hole in the bottom, that hard textured plastic on the bottom with the firmer type of rubber on the top with that texture. I do like that. On the bottom, we have our cutouts. On the side, we have that same texture with our power and volume buttons. On the back, again, it's got kind of like that hard plastic texture. And it also has these rubber pieces on the side here. And we have a slight raised edge for camera protection there too. Pretty nice protective case. And you can also wirelessly charge right through this case as well. The only thing you will have to keep in mind about this case is because it does have a hard plastic shell on the back, is if you put your phone on its back down on something that is equally as hard, the phone will kind of slide around a lot easier than some of the other fully rubber type cases. It's not a deal breaker, it's just something to keep in mind. Now, if you've seen some of the other videos I've done on other cases that have the same two-piece design, you'll notice that the other cases have a very flimsy inner core, whereas the base case has a much firmer type core inside, so it's not going to just bow out, especially over time. So if you're looking for a more protective case, I would definitely recommend the ProTech series case. Then here we have the official Google Pixel 9 Pro XL case. So here is the case. It is a little bit flexible. It's not totally flexible like some of the rubber TPU type cases. It does feel like it has some sort of a firm plastic inside. It is coated in a nice soft silicone type material. It's got this shiny kind of Google logo on the back. It does seem to have some metal buttons on the side, which I absolutely love. And on the inside, it's got like this microfiber to help keep your phone from getting all scratched up. So we'll put our phone inside the case. The case goes on the phone very easily. It does feel good in the hand, but it is slick. Because of that silicone material, it just kind of slides around in your hand, which definitely might not be good for most people. The buttons on the side are nice and clicky. Very nice. I like the way that they feel. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see it does have a ever so slight raised edge around the front of the screen. So if you happen to be using a tempered glass screen protector, it might have no edge after that. I don't have any tempered glass on my screen right now, but if I did, you could probably bet that there would be no edge left. You can see that it does keep the phone fairly slim. We have our cutouts on the bottom here. We have our power button and our volume button on the side, which look absolutely amazing in the contrasting metal. On the back, again, it's got a nice soft silicone type feel, so it won't show any fingerprints. And it's got a slight raised edge around our camera lenses for protection there too. And if you want to wirelessly charge, you can right through the case. Now this is a really nice looking case. The only thing I don't like about it is how slick it feels when you're holding it in one hand. I think it'll definitely increase the likelihood that you might actually drop this, but it looks great on the phone. I do like the softness of the silicone, but for the sides, it's definitely not good when you're holding it because, again, like I said, there's a likelihood of you dropping the phone because it does feel so slick. It is a shame too because I absolutely love these metal buttons on the side. So even though the case does look really nice on the phone, I probably would not recommend it because it does feel slick in the hand. So here we have the POETIC Revolution. Now, one thing that I absolutely love that POETIC does is they allow you to use a tempered glass screen protector if you already have one, instead of using the film screen protector that comes with the case. So they give you one of the inserts that have the film screen protector, but they also have another portion that has nothing in it. So again, you can use your tempered glass if you want to do that too. Now, if you want to take out the inner liner from the outside of the case, just find the little corner here that has like this little notch in it. Typically, I can just push back the case with my fingers and the inner portion will pop out. You have to put some force into it, but you can get it done. And then just pull out the rest of the piece. So we're going to be testing out the film screen protector because I don't have a tempered glass screen protector on my phone. So basically what you want to do is make sure you thoroughly clean off the screen first, because you don't want anything trapped underneath the front part of the screen protector. So now once you've cleaned off your phone screen, we'll just peel off the inner protector from the inside, just like that. And we also need to peel off this little piece here. Just try not to touch the inside of the screen if you can. And place this over the top of your phone. Just press it into place. Then you'll see that it has a little cutout for your fingerprint. Just make sure that you totally press that down. You don't want to see any buttons in that little center there. And then we'll take this whole portion, we'll press it inside the other part of the case, just like that. And then you can peel off the top protector. And there you go. So the case does feel nice in the hand. It is not slippery. It's got kind of like a little bit of a grippy feel because of the rubber portion along the side of the phone. It also has a cutout for our front camera as well as the speaker on the front. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it does have a raised edge all the way around the phone screen. We also have these little grippy raised edges on the top and the bottom. On the bottom of the phone, we have our cutouts as well as a covered portion for the charging port. On the other side, we've got our volume buttons and our power button. On the back, we do have a hard plastic, which everywhere you see the blue is a hard plastic. It's not rubber. We also do have a built-in kickstand on the back, which I absolutely love. Comes in handy a lot. And we also do have a raised edge around our camera bump too. This also does come in a couple different colors in case you don't like the blue. But this does look like a really nice protective case, and it does cover the front and the back of the phone. Now, as far as the screen goes, because it is a plastic film, it does have some resistance to it when you run your finger over it, but you can still use it perfectly fine. It's just not as smooth as the glass that's on the phone. Now let's take a look at the screen as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. So as you can see, there is a slight rainbow effect. You can see that little hole, the little cutout for your fingerprint. Definitely a lot better through the polarized sunglasses. I don't think it's horrible. It's just the little circle in the middle is noticeable, but definitely not a deal breaker for me. So now let's test out our fingerprints. Now, if your fingerprints don't work after you've already put them in, just re-register them and you should be able to use the fingerprint sensor without any issue. So the fingerprint sensor does still seem to be working fine. Yep. Try it again. Yeah, no problems there. So again, if your fingerprints aren't working, if you registered them prior to putting the case on, just re-register them and you should not have any problems. Now, as far as fingerprints goes, it does seem to pick up very minor smudges on the screen. Let's try to wipe those away. And they do seem to wipe away fairly easily. And then for that kickstand, comes out really easily. You can use your phone in a portrait mode to maybe take some Zoom calls or whatnot, or you can also lay it down in a landscape, watch some YouTube or Netflix, and then it just simply clips right into the back of the case. And the other thing I really like is that the kickstand sits flush with the case itself. I really hate the cases that have a bump for the kickstand. It just kind of throws the whole phone off. And if you want to type while the phone is on your desk, the phone does not rock back and forth at all. And you can also wirelessly charge right through this case. So this is definitely one of my favorite Poetic cases. I do love the fact, again, that it does have a built-in kickstand and it protects your phone 360 degrees. And it also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone either. And then here we have the Poetic Guardian. So once again, even with this case, they give you an option to use either the built-in film screen protector, or if you already have a tempered glass screen protector, you can use the insert that does not have anything. This case also does have Magsafe, which I love. So again, the first thing you're going to want to do is to thoroughly clean off your phone screen. Then peel off the inside protector. Place this down over the top of your phone, making sure that the camera cutout is going towards the camera on the phone. And also make sure that there's no bubbles where the fingerprint cutout is. Then take the other part of the case. We need to take out the inner liner first. So again, we'll just kind of press back in one of the corners, and you can peel out that inner protector. Then take this whole piece, press it back into the case, and then you can peel off the top portion. And there we go. Feels really nice in the hand. It's not slippery, but it does have a smooth type of rubber on the outside. Looks nice and clear right through the screen protector. Buttons are nice and clicky. There's also a cutout for your camera as well as the speakers on the top. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see it does have a raised edge all the way around the front of the screen. And it also does not add a lot of extra bulk to the phone. We do have some texture on the sides to help with grip. We've got our cutouts on the bottom. We also have our covered charging port. Here we have our power button and our volume buttons with that same kind of texture on the side. On the back, again, you have your Magsafe built in. There's also a protector that you can peel off on the back as well. That's on the top and the bottom. That looks really cool. It shows off the color of your phone. And we also do have a nice raised edge around our cameras as well. That's a pretty cool case. Now let's see how Magsafe works with this. And it seems to work just fine. It also does seem to have a really nice magnetic hold on the back, so you don't have to worry about your accessory just falling off. That's pretty nice. Now, as far as the feel of the screen protector, there is some resistance when you run your finger over it because it is film and not glass. And let's take a look at the screen as if you're looking at it through polarized sunglasses. So again, there is a slight rainbow effect, not horrible, but the fingerprint cutout does stand out a lot. Again, it's not a deal breaker for me, but it's something to keep in mind. Now, as far as fingerprints goes, it does pick up some smudges on the screen, as you can already see. And let's see how easy it is to wipe away. And not hard at all. You just have to just a little bit more elbow grease than you would on a regular glass screen, but not too bad. As far as touch is working perfectly fine. No issues there. So let's test out our fingerprints. And fingerprints are working perfectly fine. The only thing you have to live with is the little cutout. That may or may not bother you. And just like the other case, you can also use regular wireless charging with this as well. Here we have the SPIGEN Slim Armor CS case. So here is the case. Now this case does have a back cover on it to hold 2 flat credit cards, which is pretty nice. It is made of hard plastic, and the rest of the case is kind of like a flexible type TPU rubber. On the inside, it's got kind of like this texture, but it's still like that rubber plastic. So here is the case. Now this case has a card holder on the back that just simply slides open like this. It can hold 2 flat cards inside. It is made of a plastic type material that is pretty firm, and the rest of the case is just kind of like a flexible type TPU material. It's got this texture on the back here and that plasticky rubber texture on the inside. Let's put our phone inside the case. Goes in the phone pretty easily. It feels good in the hand. It's not really slippery, but it's like that smooth type of rubber. On the top, it's got kind of like just a slight bit of texture to it to give it, you know, a better grip in the hand. Buttons, nice and clicky, easily accessible. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone. I also do not have a tempered glass screen protector on my phone either. You can see that this case does add a little bit of extra bulk because of that card holder on the back, and it sticks out when you put your phone down on something. The camera is going to be raised up just a little bit off whatever you put your case down on. We have our cutouts on the bottom here. We have our power button and the volume buttons on the side. On the back again, we have that hard plastic card holder. You can open up like this and put in a couple of your cards, and it closes up just like that. And again, we do have that texture kind of on the top portion of the case, and we also do have a slight raised edge for our camera lens protection as well. Now to get your cards out, you just simply slide this piece over, and then you kind of get your fingernail in there for the first card, and for the last, it pretty much comes out just that easy. You just kind of got to get your finger in there and then lift it up. It's not bad. Now as far as wireless charging goes, I don't have any cards in the case right now, so we'll see if it charges. So it does seem like it is charging, and then we'll put the cards back inside the case and see if it will still wirelessly charge. So it seems like it still charges with the cards in the back. The only thing you need to keep in mind is the cards need to be plastic. You're not going to be able to put any metal cards in the back here, because then the wireless charger will not be able to charge through those metal cards. Not a horrible case. I'm not a fan of, you know, this little bump here with the cards, but if you want a case that holds like your ID and maybe a credit card so you don't have to carry around your wallet, this might be the case for you. Then here we have the SPIGEN Thin Fit case. So this case is pretty thin, and it's probably one of the more lighter cases. It does have a kind of like a firm hard backing surrounded by a softer rubbery type material. It's got kind of like that matte look, so it keeps down the fingerprints. Put our phone inside the case. Goes in the phone pretty easily. Feels pretty nice in the hand. It does kind of have a smooth feel on the sides. It's not really slick, but it's got a smooth feel. Feels not too bad in the hand. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge all the way around the front of the phone. It also keeps the phone fairly slim. As you can see on the side, where it's got half of that rubber type material and half of the plastic. We have our cutouts on the bottom here. Power button and volume buttons on the side. On the back, again, it's just kind of got like that matte type silicone material. Looks pretty nice. Keeps down those fingerprints again. And it also has a slight raised edge around our camera lenses. So if you're looking for a thinner, lighter case, you might definitely like this. And as far as wireless charging goes, no problems there. It's definitely not a bad case. The only thing I would have rather have seen them do is maybe put some grip or something on the side. Not super aggressive, but just enough to where it doesn't feel as smooth as it does. But definitely not a bad case. And here we have the SPIGEN Liquid Air. So this case is all flexible. There are no firm pieces on it. It's got kind of like this, looks like a diamond type texture on the back. It's also fairly light as well. We have that textured plastic rubber on the inside. Goes in the phone very easily. Feels pretty nice in the hand. And again, this has the same feel. It's got kind of like that smooth, kind of rubbery type feel to it. It's not slick, but it's smooth. In this case, does have kind of like these little ridges on the side to help with grip. As far as the buttons goes, nice and clicky, easily accessible. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone, and you can see that slight texture all the way along the side of the case. It's also fairly slim. It doesn't seem to add much extra bulk to the phone either. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button and our volume buttons on the side, and the power button does have kind of like a rigid texture on it. We have a lanyard hole on the bottom. On the back again, it's got kind of like that diamond pattern. You can't really feel it. It feels pretty smooth, but if you take your nail to it, you can definitely feel it a lot more. And we also do have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses as well. And for wireless charging, you can wirelessly charge right through the case. So another nice case that will add some protection to your phone. Feels fairly good in the hand. I'm just not a huge fan of the texture on the back, but it's not really a deal breaker. It's just a very simple case. Then here we have the SPIGEN Ultra Hybrid one-tap metal ring case. So here is the case. It is all clear, and it does have these kind of protectors that you're going to want to take off before you put it on your phone. It also has a nice firm hard back with that Magsafe ring built in, and it's surrounded by a firm rubber type material. So we'll just take off the inner protectors. Put our phone inside the case. Then we can peel off that back one. Looks pretty nice, feels good in the hand. It does have some grip to it, which is definitely welcome. Buttons are nice and clicky, easily accessible. If we take a look from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone. And we also have these little air bubbles in the corners for a little bit of extra drop protection. You can also see that it doesn't add much extra bulk to the phone, but we do have like a thicker plate on the bottom of this case. There's no kind of texture or anything on the sides. We have our cutouts on the bottom, our power button and our volume buttons on the other side. We got that lanyard hole in the bottom. And then on the back, it shows out the color of your phone. Really nice. We've got that Magsafe built in. Let's see how well that works with our Magsafe power bank. And my battery's dead. So I had to plug in my power bank because it is pretty much dead, but it'll still give you some idea of how the power bank works on the back of this case. So we'll clip it into place, and as you can see, it starts to charge. Now it doesn't have a super strong magnetic hold, but I think it's strong enough to where you don't have to worry about your Magsafe accessory just falling off. But if I were to like shake it around a lot, it would probably come off the phone, but it's definitely strong enough to hold on your Magsafe accessory. Then we also have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses as well. Very nice case. I do like the inclusion of the Magsafe ring because I've got an iPhone with some Magsafe accessories that I can definitely use with this case. Again, it feels good in the hand. It's got some grip to it, and it just shows off the color of your phone. It's pretty nice. And this case also does work with the regular wireless charging as well. And then here we have one of my favorite SPIGEN cases, the Rugged Armor case. So this case is again very flexible. There's no firm pieces on this case, but the reason I like it is because it's pretty slim. It's also fairly light, and I do like the way that the case looks and feels. It's got kind of like a rough texture on the back, and it's got kind of like some carbon fiber inlays on the top and the bottom of the case. We also have that same plasticky rubber type texture on the inside. Goes in the phone pretty easily. It also feels good in the hand. It's got kind of like those ridges on the side for some grip. Buttons nice and clicky, easily accessible. On the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge on the sides of the case, and a little bit more of a raised edge on the top and the bottom. So if you happen to put a tempered glass screen protector on your phone, you'll still have a good amount of raised edge. It also keeps the phone fairly slim. You can see those the ridges on the side. We have our cutouts on the bottom. Our power button, which is textured, as well as the volume buttons, and we have those ridges again along with our lanyard hole. On the back, again, it's got kind of like that roughed up rubbery type material. We have those carbon fiber inlays on the bottom and the top, and we do have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses. I've always liked the rugged armor cases on all of my phones. If you're looking for a fairly slim case that's going to offer your phone some protection, I would definitely recommend checking out the rugged armor case. And this also does work with wireless charging as well. And then here we have the SPIGEN Tough Armor case. So this is one of the few cases that SPIGEN makes that is made of kind of like a two-piece design. It's got a hard plastic backing surrounded by a softer rubbery type material, and this piece does actually come apart from that case. So here we have the softer rubbery type case surrounded by this kind of like a thin hard plastic. It also does have a small plastic kickstand on the bottom here. I mean, it's not very big, and you're probably only going to be able to use your phone in landscape, but it is there. On the inside of this case, it does have like this foam type material to help give it some better shock absorption in case you happen to drop your phone. Put our phone inside the case. So it does feel nice in the hand. Again, this material on the side is like a hard plastic, so it's got kind of like a smooth feel to it. It's not grippy. The buttons on the side are easily accessible, but they are flat, which makes them a little bit harder to find, except for the power button here, which is kind of cut in, and it's also got a texture to it. If we look at it from the side, you can see it does have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone, but we also get some better protection in the corners as well, again, in case you happen to drop your phone. On the bottom, we have our cutouts. On the other side, we have our textured power button and our kind of separated volume buttons, but as you can see, they're pretty flat, which again might make it hard for you to find the buttons, especially if it's in your pocket or something like that. On the back, again, it's got kind of like that matte, it's kind of silicone type feel, keeps down the fingerprints. We've got our small little kickstand on the bottom here, and we have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses. So let's take out this kickstand. So we can definitely put it down in a landscape mode so you can watch some Netflix, but it doesn't seem to stand up in portrait. It is just made of a plastic type material. It's a little flimsy, but you can clip it right back down into the case. It's something, it's not the best, but it's something to hold, hold your phone up if you want to watch some Netflix or something. And if you want to wirelessly charge, you can with this case as well. So if you're looking for a more protective case that SPIGEN sells, the Tough Armor would definitely be one to check out. Now for me, this definitely has to be one of my least favorite cases. One, because I don't like the two-piece design. I like a one-piece case because on some of the other past cases I've seen with prolonged use, this case kind of starts to come apart and the back get stuff underneath it, and I don't like the flat buttons on the side. I like buttons to kind of protrude to make it easier for you to find, but that's just my personal preference and something I just wanted to note. And then here we have the SPIGEN Enzo Aramid case. This is definitely one of SPIGEN's more premium cases. And not only does this case have metal on it, but it also has aramid fiber built into the case itself. It's also a lot heftier than most of the other cases, and don't be fooled by this little ring on the inside. This case does not have Magsafe, but it does kind of have like this felt type material on the inside to help keep your phone from getting all scratched up. And it is also super rigid. There's no flexibility on the back of this case, but it is surrounded by a softer rubbery type material. So let's put our phone inside the case. Goes in the phone really nicely. Now, the one thing already that I don't like about this case is the fact that it is slick. The sides actually don't have any sort of grip whatsoever on them, and it feels very slick in the hand. So that's definitely not a good thing already. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge all the way around the screen. And just so you know, I do have a tempered glass screen protector on my phone. Yeah, this phone it just feels slick. That is really unfortunate. I don't know why they wouldn't just put some sort of texture or something to help you, get a better grip on the phone. Maybe they want you to drop your phone, so you have to buy another one with another case. I'm not really sure, but as it sits right now, this case is very slippery. Now on the sides, it does have metal buttons, which I absolutely love. The power button here and the separated volume buttons. They're very clicky, easily pressable, so that's definitely a plus for the case. If we look in the bottom, you can see we do have all of our cutouts here. And on the back again, we have that really nice soft aramid fiber. Doesn't show any fingerprints. It's got a little bit of a texture to it. We've got like a little metal symbol on the bottom here, as well as a metal ring that goes around our camera lenses. And it just ever so slightly comes above the cameras to give some protection there too. It's very unfortunate that the case is super slippery because it looks like a really nice case. It's really solid. I like the incorporation of the metal buttons and the ring around the camera, but if the phone is slippery and you might drop it and damage your phone, it's definitely not worth it. Now let's see if we can wirelessly charge through this case. So wireless charging doesn't seem to be an issue. It would have been really nice if they would have put Magsafe into this case as well, as premium looking as it is. But that aramid fiber is really nice in the back. I do like the way that it feels, and because it does keep the fingerprints down. So if you don't like really slippery cases, I would definitely not recommend this case because you will most likely end up dropping it. So here we have the OTTERBOX Prefix case. Now this is probably one of the more thinner OTTERBOXes that you're going to find. It is fairly light and thin. It does have a hard plastic backing that is a little bit textured, and it's surrounded by a firmer rubbery type material. On the inside of the case, again, it's that hard kind of plastic material. There's really not a lot of shock absorption in this case. Let's put our phone inside. Goes in the phone very easily. Feels pretty good in the hand. The only thing is, it's got kind of like a smooth kind of feel on the side, on the verge of being slippery. Buttons on the side, kind of mushy, not super clicky. Like when you press the power button, you almost can't tell that you're actually pressing a button. If we take a look from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone, and it also doesn't really add any extra bulk to the phone itself. On the bottom, we have our cutouts. On the side, we have our power button and our volume buttons. On the back, again, it's got kind of like that slightly textured plastic material. Doesn't show any fingerprints, but can be slippery if you happen to put it down on something hard, maybe like the arm of your chair, something like that. And we also do have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses as well. And if you want to wirelessly charge, you can through this case too. So not a bad case. The only thing is like I said, it's on the verge of being slippery in the hand. And for this texture on the back, because it is a hard plastic, if you put it down on something hard as well, like the arm of your chair, it will definitely just slide right off because of that hard plastic. Definitely not one of my favorite OTTERBOX cases, but if you're just looking for something slim and simple to protect your phone, then you might prefer this case. And then here we have the OTTERBOX Symmetry case. Now this case does have kind of like a sparkle inside. They do make it totally clear. I just got this one because it was going to get to me the quickest. It does have a very hard plastic back, surrounded again by a really thick type of rubber. It's pretty firm. Let's put our phone inside the case. So this case does have some grip to it, which is nice. Buttons on the side, nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we take a look from the side here, you can see it does have a slight raised edge again to protect the front of your screen. And we also have that thick plastic bottom here that you can see from the separation of the other part of the case. So it does add a little bit of extra bulk to the phone. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button and volume buttons on the side. On the back, again, it's just got that very firm, hard plastic backing that is clear to show up the color of your phone. And it's got a raised edge around our camera lenses as well. So definitely not a bad case. It's more protective than the Prefix. And this, again, does have some grip. And the buttons you can actually feel kind of click when you press into them. And it is a little bit more reinforced in the corners as well, so it'll give you some better drop protection. And if you want to wirelessly charge, you can also do that through this case as well. So I definitely prefer the Symmetry case over the Prefix. Again, one, because it's got some grip in the hand, the buttons are nice and clicky, and it's also got some extra protection in case you happen to drop your phone. And then here we have the OTTERBOX Commuter case. This is 3 times military grade drop tested, and it's got a 2-piece design. So here is that case. It does have a hard plastic back surrounded by a very kind of flimsy, rubbery type material on the inside. And again, it does have that 2-piece design, which I'm really not a huge fan of. I just wish they kind of made this in just a 1-piece. Why do you have to have 2 pieces here? I don't know. But again, here is that hard plastic backing. And this is also very flimsy and flexible. So we'll put our phone inside the case. And then you can kind of take this plastic backing and just press it over the back of your phone. So really quick, let me show you why I don't like these cases. Because this inner portion is so flimsy, especially in the bottom part of the case, there's really not a lot of firmness. So over time, this will probably wear out and start to bulge, and it's just not going to look really good. I just kind of wish they made this in just all 1-piece design. I don't know why they have to have this extra added piece. I know I just said that, but I really don't like it. So then just take the hard plastic, kind of press it over the back of your phone. Just like this. Make sure you pull out the charging port cover. And I just really don't like the way that looks. It looks like it's not on there all the way. But that's this case. It does feel pretty good in the hand because it's got the texture on the side that's going horizontally instead of vertically, which I like. Helps it give it a better grip in the hand. It does feel rubbery, so you don't have to worry about it slipping out of your hand prematurely. Buttons on the side, they're okay because they're super rubbery. It just, they don't have a lot of firmness to it. Definitely not the best feeling. If we take a look from the side, you can see it does have a raised edge all the way around the front of the phone. On the side, we've got that plastic, hard plastic cover on the bottom and the rubbery texture on the top here. On the bottom, we have our cutouts as well as that covered charging port. We have our texture along the side here. Again, that hard plastic and our like flimsy rubbery type material. See, look at how easily that comes off. Over time, I'm telling you that this is just gonna, it's just gonna stay out. That's why I don't like these two-piece design cases. If we take a look from the back, you can see it's got that hard, slick plastic, and we do have a raised edge around our camera lenses too. And if you want to wirelessly charge, you can do that through this case. So this is definitely not one of my favorite cases for the reasons that I just mentioned, and I would recommend that you stay away from this commuter case as well because of that. And then here we have the OTTERBOX Defender case. This is 5 times military grade drop tested, and it's also got a dual layer design. So here is the case itself. It does come with a plastic belt clip that has 360 degrees rotation, and it also acts as a little kickstand for your phone as well. So if you want to watch Netflix or something like that, you can use that for a stand. So here is the case. It is pretty heavy duty. On the inside, it's got kind of like this soft foam material. You can see that when I'm pressing in on it, it kind of rebounds and comes back, which is pretty nice. So the way that you take this off is just kind of peel off the rubber from the shell. Then you need to take apart the case here. It's got like these little clips that you can kind of pull apart. Or if you have like something hard plastic, you can kind of get them underneath. That's the easiest way that I found without breaking your nails or anything like that. So you just take that apart, take your phone, put it inside, and then put the shell back over the phone. Just press it into place. Go all the way around the phone so you can hear all the clips. Then once you've done that, you can put the whole hard plastic shell back into the soft rubber case. And you're all set. Now, another reason why I think this is a little bit better than the commuter case is because even though this is kind of like a softer rubbery type material on the side, it kind of clips into the hard shell. It's not just kind of stuck out in nowhere, kind of like the commuter was. But again, over time, this rubber material will probably kind of like bow out, kind of like this little side does right here. But again, that's over time. You may or may not have the phone or the case after that much time, but I have seen it happen on other OTTERBOX Defender cases, so it's just something to keep in mind. Now, it does feel really good in the hand. It's nice and rubbery feeling, so it's not slippery at all. As far as the buttons goes, they're easily pressable, nice and clicky, and they do protrude from the side of the case. If we look at it from the side, you can see that there is a very prominent raised edge on the top and the bottom, and a slight raised edge on the sides. It also does add some extra bulk to the phone itself, but that's at the cost of some extra added drop protection. On the bottom here, we do have our cutouts along with a covered charging port. We have our power button and our volume buttons on the side, which is kind of separated. On the back, it's got that rubbery type textured feel, feels really good. and it also has a slight raised edge around our camera lenses as well. And if you want to wirelessly charge through this case, you can also do that as well. Another thing with this case is you can put it two different ways inside the belt clip. You can either have it with the screen facing outward like this so you can see, or if you want some extra added protection, you can put the screen facing in, so if you happen to accidentally, hit against something, it's not going to crack your screen. This is definitely the most protective case that OTTERBOX sells. But again, it's just not my favorite because of the fact that over time, these rubber edges typically tend to kind of like bow out. And you can see that the rubber, or you can hear rather, the rubber material comes off of that plastic inner shell enough to where you just tap it, you can see it kind of bow in. So it's not tight against that shell, which I don't particularly like. But again, if you're looking for the most protection that OTTERBOX can offer you, the Defender case is definitely the way to go. So here we have the CASEOLOGY Parallax case. Here is the case itself. It is made of a flexible type rubber. There's no firm pieces on this case at all. It's got kind of like a texture on the inside. Let's put our phone inside the case. Goes in the phone very easily. Buttons are nice and clicky, easily accessible. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone. Now, I do not have a tempered glass screen protector on my phone either, so if you were to put one on, there would be even less of an edge. The phone does feel okay in the hand. It's a little bit slick. I think the reason for that is because these lines go up and down on the case itself instead of across, where I think it might give you a better grip on the phone, but because it goes up and down, your fingers kind of slide easier on it. But it doesn't feel horrible. I don't like these lines on the side. It doesn't give it the best feel. Again, it's not horrible, but for my liking, I personally don't like it. But if we take a look at the bottom here, we have our cutouts. On the other side, we have our power button and our volume buttons. And on the back, it's got kind of like this honeycomb type texture on it. This little band here looks like it's metal, but it's not. It's actually just colored plastic. And on the bottom here, it's got kind of like a rougher type material. We also do have a slight raised edge around our camera lens as well. Again, if you happen to put a tempered glass protector over your cameras, it's probably going to come up over this edge, but as it sits right now with nothing on it, there's a slight raised edge. Definitely, again, it's not a horrible case. I really don't like the lines on the side of the case. It doesn't make it feel that great in the hand. They really should have made these kind of go horizontal instead of vertical on the case, but it is what it is. Buttons again are really nice, but yeah, so that's just something to keep in mind, that the lines on the side here do make the case a little bit slicker than normal, but it's not horrible. And if you want to wirelessly charge, you can right through this case. Then here we have the CASEOLOGY Nano Pop. And then here is the Nano Pop case. Again, it comes with some cleaning materials. Here is the case. Again, it's made of that same kind of flexible rubbery type material. On the inside, it does have kind of like a flat sticker. It's not textured like the other case. It does have a pretty cool feel to it though. Put our phone inside the case. Again, the case goes on the phone very easily. There's no texture on the side to kind of help with grip on the top, but there are some like really little nubs on the bottom here. I wish they would have put that all the way up the side of the phone, because when you're holding it, your thumb's up here and your kind of fingers are here. Not much grip on the bottom here. I mean, you grip it with the kind of palm of your hand and maybe these two fingers. but I really would have liked to have seen these little grips go up all the way on the case. The top part here where there's no grip, it is kind of smooth, a little bit slick. As far as the buttons, nice and clicky, easily accessible. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see it does have a slight raised edge again. Doesn't add much extra bulk to the phone. We take a look at the bottom here, we have our cutouts. We've got our power button and our volume button on the side here. We do have a little lanyard hole at the bottom. On the back, it's not like a silicone, but it's kind of like a micro textured plastic. It's got kind of like a matte look. It feels really nice. And we do have a raised edge around our camera lenses as well. Definitely like this case a little bit more than the Parallax. It just looks and feels a little bit nicer. I don't like those ridges on the Parallax. And then if you want to wirelessly charge, you can right through this case. And then here we have the CASEOLOGY Capella Kickstand case. So this case, interesting enough, even though it is clear, it does not come with any cleaning supplies like the other cases did. It does have these clear protectors on the inside we need to remove. Now this case does have a hard clear backing on it, surrounded by a softer rubbery type material. Put our phone in the case. And then we'll peel off the back protector. So unlike the other cases, this case does have a little bit of a grip to it, and it's a little bit harder to put on the phone, but it does feel pretty nice in the hand. Again, the little texture on the bottom here does not go up all the way on the case, which I don't understand. Like, put this all the way up on the phone to give it grip all the way around. I don't know why they do that. As far as the buttons goes, nice and clicky, easily accessible. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that there is just a very slight raised edge around the front of the phone. It also adds just a little bit more extra bulk to the phone. You can see that thicker plastic portion on the bottom here, and all the textured dots on the bottom. We have our cutouts on the bottom here. We have our power button and our volume buttons on the side. We also have a lanyard hole on the bottom there. On the back, shows off the color of your phone. And we also have a metal kickstand, which is pretty solid, nice and firm, stays pretty much anywhere you're going to put it, and then just clips right back down into the case. And if we take a look from the side, you can see that it is flush with the case as well. Now for the camera, it almost looks like it's flush, but there's just a very slight raised edge around the camera lenses there. Pretty nice case. Let's check out the kickstand again. So you can watch things on your phone in a landscape, or you can also stand it up in a portrait in case you need to do like a Zoom call or something like that. And again, it folds right back flush into the case, which I absolutely love. And again, it's made of all metal, feels nice and solid, does not feel cheap. And because it's on the bottom of the case, you can still wirelessly charge right through this case. Another really nice case, especially if you want to show off the color of your phone, and I love the inclusion of the kickstand on the bottom. And then here we have the CASEOLOGY Athlex. So this case kind of looks like a rough pillow on the back. This also does come with some kind of cleaning wipes. On the inside here, it does have kind of like a, I don't know, it feels like a little spongy type material. This case is also very flexible. There's no hard pieces on this case at all. Put our phone inside the case. Feels really nice in the hand. This is definitely one of the better cases that I felt by CASEOLOGY, because they've got the texture that goes all the way up the case. Why not do that for every one of the cases that have this texture? It just makes sense. It gives the phone some more grip. Definitely appreciate it. As far as the buttons goes, nice and clicky. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see it does have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone. This case kind of reminds me of a tire, like the the old tires where it had a groove in the middle for the water. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but that's what it reminds me of. It's got kind of like this indent in the middle of the case that goes kind of all the way around the phone. But again, what I love is the fact that they put those little grips all the way on the sides of the phone, not on the top and not on the bottom, just on the sides, but it goes all the way up. It just makes sense. I think it's got a pretty cool looking design as well. On the bottom here, we have all our cutouts. We have our power button and volume buttons on the other side. And on the back, again, it's got kind of like that pillow type look. It's a very kind of textured, not really rough, but it's roughed up kind of plastic, again, to help it give more grip. I think it looks pretty cool. And again, it's got a slight raised edge around our camera lenses. And you can also wirelessly charge through this case too. As far as the feel in the hand, I think this one is the best CASEOLOGY case so far. Again, it's not slippery at all. It's got that grip that goes all the way up the side, and it just feels so much better in the hand. And I actually like this little groove that they've made all the way around the case. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you like this type of case? Let me know in the comments below. And I'm a fan of the kind of rougher type texture on the back as well. It doesn't show fingerprints, kind of masks any scratches that you might get on the case as well. Very cool. And then here we have the Ringke Onyx case in a black and a green. So here is the case. It is a all flexible type TPU material. It does have like a rough type of texture on the back. The Ringke Onyx case is definitely one of my more favorite Ringke cases. It keeps the phone nice and slim, and it also feels pretty good in the hand. So we'll put our phone inside the case. Goes in the phone very easily. Buttons on the side, nice and clicky, easily pressable. It does also feel good in the hand because it has this texture on the side to help with grip. You can also see that it does have a slight raised edge on the edges, and on the top and the bottom it's a little bit more reinforced. So if you happen to put a tempered glass screen protector on the phone, you're still going to have a raised edge. It also, like I mentioned before, keeps the phone nice and slim. We have that texture on the sides, and it also has a lanyard hole in the bottom. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our textured power button and our volume buttons here, that lanyard hole on the other side, as well as the texture. And on the back, again, it's got that kind of roughed up kind of TPU material, which I like. And it's also got a nice raised edge to protect our camera lenses. This is actually one of the first cases that I've seen that has such a prominent raised edge for the cameras. Very nice case. And if you want to wirelessly charge, you can do that right through these cases. So if you're looking for a simple case that's not going to break the bank and also offer your phone some pretty nice protection while keeping it somewhat slim, I would definitely recommend the Ringke Onyx. And here it is in the green. And then here we have the MOUS Limitless Aramid fiber case. This definitely has to be one of my more favorite mouse cases. I'm actually using this right now for my Galaxy S24 Ultra. It looks really nice. Got that Aramid fiber back on here. It's nice and solid to give you some good drop protection, and it's also got some nice firm rubber edges along with these green strips on the inside that help with shock absorption if you happen to drop your phone. It also has Magsafe built in, and it's got this nice soft microfiber on the inside. So it feels good in the hand. It's not slick. It's got kind of like a smooth rubber on the side with some texture grip on the bottom. Buttons are nice and clicky, easily accessible. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it's got a nice raised edge on the top and the bottom and on the sides of the case. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone. You can see that it's got the textured grips on the bottom with our lanyard hole. We have our cutouts here. We have our power and volume buttons, another lanyard hole with that texture, and on the back again it's got the nice soft Aramid fiber that does not show any fingerprints, and we also have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses. And if you happen to have a Magsafe power bank like I have here, you can easily clip it right onto the back of the case. It'll start to charge your phone. And it's got a pretty good hold on the Magsafe accessory as well, so you don't have to worry about it just falling off. This is a really nice protective case, and it's really good for drop tests. I don't know if you've ever seen the MOUS commercials on YouTube where the guy throws the phone up probably 10-15 feet up in the air and it falls on the ground unscathed. It's crazy. But it's definitely a really nice looking case, and it feels good in the hand, and it will keep your phone nice and protected. It also does work with regular wireless charging as well in case you don't happen to have Magsafe. So like I mentioned before, this is definitely one of my favorite cases, and I would definitely recommend it. And then here we have the MOUS Thin PC case. So here is the case, and it kind of reminds me of the official Google case. It's got a soft silicone type material on top of a hard plastic. On the inside, it's got this really nice soft suede type material, and you can see how thin these edges are, and they are not made of rubber. This is an all hard type of case. It's not soft like some of the other cases are, and as far as the mouse cases goes, it's not going to be nearly as protective as the Limitless case. This is more for people who want to give your phone some protection while keeping it as slim as possible. So let's put our phone inside the case. The case also seems to have Magsafe in it as well, but we will test that. Now, one thing I already noticed about this case is it's very slick. It's very slippery as well. So you really might not like it. I really don't, because I don't want to drop my phone accidentally, and I'm sure that you don't want to either. So this case has absolutely no grip to it whatsoever. It's very slick. And if we take a look from the side, you can see that there's really no raised edge on the case itself. Now, one thing I do want to let you know too, I do have a tempered glass screen protector. So if I didn't have the tempered glass on here, there would be a very slight edge. But this is what you're going to get if you do have a tempered glass screen protector. It's going to be pretty flush with the edge of the case. But it's also pretty slim too. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We also have some cutouts for the buttons on the side. So those are the actual phone's buttons that are kind of like indented into the phone. So you kind of got to press a little harder to get to them because they're recessed down into the case. Another thing that I don't like about this case, I would really like extra buttons that kind of protrude a little bit to make it easier to press. So yeah, don't really care for that either. If we take a look at the back, you can see that it's all kind of like this matte silicone look. It's very smooth. We have our mouse logo on the bottom, and as far as the camera goes, there might be an ever so slight raised edge, just a little bit for protection on the cameras. I would really like to see a little bit more edge there too. But it is what it is. So like I mentioned before, I think this case also has Magsafe. We'll put a Magsafe power bank on the back. So it does. Turn on the power bank. And it starts to charge your phone. Just took a couple seconds there. Now, as far as the magnet on the back, it seems like it's strong enough to hold on to the Magsafe accessory. It's not super strong. I think it might be a little stronger than most, but it's not the strongest that I've seen. So you don't have to worry about the Magsafe accessory just falling off your phone. But if you have it on maybe like a car mount or something like that, and your car, bounces up and down, it might kind of move around on the Magsafe accessory. But that's just something to keep in mind. And if you also have regular wireless charging that doesn't have Magsafe, you can also use this case as well. So it's really unfortunate that this case is so slippery, because it's not a really bad looking case. It's more like a kind of like a minimalist case that has just a tad more protection. But because it is so slick, the odds of you dropping it are definitely increased. And I really don't care for these little cutouts for your buttons either, because like I mentioned, the button is recessed down into the case, so you have to kind of press down more into the case to get the actual button to press in, and it's a little harder to find, especially if you have your phone in your pocket or something like that. So due to those reasons, I personally would not recommend purchasing this case, but again, based on everything I told you, you'll know whether or not this case is right for you. Then here we have the UAG Scout case. So here is the case itself. It is pretty flexible. It's also been military grade drop tested, but it doesn't mention to how many feet, which is kind of weird. It does have this honeycomb texture on the inside that says it's supposed to help with shock absorption. It's a pretty nice looking case. Let's put our phone inside. Goes in the phone fairly easily. Buttons are nice and clicky, easily accessible. I like how they're kind of thicker than normal buttons. Feels good in the hand. It's got some texture on the side to help with grip. If we look at it from the side here, you can see that it does have a raised edge all the way around the phone screen. And it also doesn't add much extra bulk to the phone either. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our little lanyard holes in the corner. We have that power button and the volume buttons on the side, which are very solid. And on the back, it's got kind of like this channel, like right up the middle here, to help give the back some rigidity, surrounded by some texture on the top, sides, and bottom of the case. Looks pretty cool. The edges of the case are also fairly firm. They bend out a little bit, but they're not really flimsy like some of the other cases. And we also have a raised edge slightly around our camera lenses. It's a pretty nice case. And if you want to wirelessly charge, you can do it right through the back of the case. So definitely not bad at all. It does have some reinforcements in the corners, again, for the extra drop protection. It just feels really good in the hand. I really like how thick these buttons are. Very easy to find and easily pressable. This is a pretty cool case. Not bad at all. So this definitely seems to be another case that keeps the phone pretty slim while offering some good drop protection. And again, it feels really nice in the hand. And then here we have the ZAGG Luxe case. This case has been drop tested up to 10 feet. So here is the case. It does seem to be made of a harder type of TPU material, but it does flex. We have our plastic buttons on the side. Kind of contrasts a little bit. It's pretty much all the same plastic on the inside and out. Let's put our phone inside the case. Goes in the phone fairly easily. It is smooth. It's kind of on the border of being slick. As far as the buttons, buttons could be a little bit more clicky. They're very kind of muted, so it's very hard to tell that you're actually even pressing the buttons. If we look at it from the side, you can see that it does have a raised edge all the way around the screen of the phone. It does add a little bit of extra bulk to your phone as well. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button and our separated volume buttons on the side, which I like. And on the back, it's got kind of like this, I don't know, washboard texture to it. But it's a matte material, so it's not going to show any fingerprints. And we also have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses. That's like, it's almost on the border of being flush with the lenses. And if you want to wirelessly charge, you can do that right through the case. So definitely not the best case between the slickness, the kind of, I don't know, more a little bit mushier feel of the buttons, and not a lot of protection for your camera lenses. For me, this probably would be a no-go case, and I probably would not recommend this to anybody either, because there are some better cases out there. But that's just me. Has anybody else out there ever experienced these ZAGG Luxe cases? If you have, let me know in the comments below what you think. And then here we have the BELLROY Leather case. So here is the case. It is fairly light. It also has Magsafe built in, which is nice. It is surrounded by a nice soft leather material. We've got what looks like metal buttons on the side, and it also has a microfiber on the inside of the case as well. It's pretty nice. It's also very rigid. It doesn't flex like some of the other TPU type material cases do. Goes in the phone very nicely. Buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable, which I like. If we look at it from the side, you can see it does have a very slight raised edge around the front of the screen. So if you happen to put a screen protector on your phone that's glass, it will probably take up all of that edge and be pretty much flush. I'm not using a tempered glass screen protector, just in case you're wondering. It also does keep the phone pretty slim. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have that power button and the volume button on the side, which again are metal. Looks really nice. I do like the contrast in colors. On the back, again, it's got that really soft leather type feel. It doesn't show any fingerprints. It also smells exactly like genuine leather. And we also have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses. It also feels good in the hand. It is smooth. Again, it's on the verge of being slick. But that's probably going to be most leather cases just because that's the nature of them. But I think it looks really nice on the phone. Other than it being a little slick, it does feel good in the hand. It's nice and soft. I really like the buttons on the side. And then if you happen to have a MagSafe accessory, like I've got this power bank here, you clip it right onto the back and it'll start to charge your phone. It also does seem to have a fairly good hold on the back of the phone as well. It's not like super strong, but it's strong enough to hold your MagSafe accessory in place. Definitely not a bad case at all. If you're looking for a nice premium looking and feel leather case, I would definitely recommend the BELLROY. And because it's not made of a flimsy rubber type material, you don't have to worry about the edges or the bottom of the case kind of flaring out. And then here we have a translucent kickstand case by TORRAS. This is definitely one of my favorite cases that TORRAS makes because it is translucent. It shows off the color of your phone, but it also keeps down the fingerprints because it's got a matte back. It's got MagSafe built in, and it's also got this really nice metal kickstand on the bottom that sits flush with the case. So it does have a nice hard backing surrounded by a firmer rubber edge. So we'll put our phone inside the case. Goes in the phone really nice, feels good in the hand. It's not slippery. It does have a smooth type rubber to it. As far as the buttons, nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge on the front, which would definitely be diminished if you're using a tempered glass screen protector. Something to keep in mind. It also keeps the phone fairly slim. We have our cutouts on the bottom here. We have our power button and our volume buttons on the side. And on the back, again, it shows off the color of your phone through the back. We have that MagSafe built in with the metal kickstand. And it's also got a pretty good raised edge around the camera lenses for protection there. Really nice case. So again, if you happen to have a MagSafe accessory like I have this power bank here, you can clip it right onto the back. It'll start to charge your phone. And it's got a pretty good hold on the case as well. You don't have to worry about the MagSafe accessory just falling off. Now again, as far as the kickstand goes, it is a solid metal kickstand. Very solid. It doesn't just flop around. It pretty much stays wherever you're going to put it. And then you can use your phone in a landscape if you want to watch some YouTube, or you can also stand it up if you need to take a Zoom call or something like that. and then it just folds flush right back into the case. Very nice case, and they also do have ones that don't have the kickstand or the Magsafe. If you just want, you know, something just to protect your phone, they've got those too. And then you can also regular wireless charge right through the case as well. I love how nice and smooth the backing is as well, and again, it doesn't show any fingerprints. The more features that a company can pack into a case while making it look just like a regular case is definitely good in my book. I love the inclusion of the kickstand, the Magsafe, and I love how the back is kind of like frosted so you can still see the color of your phone. And the case has also been military grade drop tested up to 12 feet. Then here we have the TORRAS 360 spin case. So here is the case. As you can see, it does have a translucent matte back that doesn't show any fingerprints. It's also got a Magsafe ring built in, and it also doubles as a kickstand. You can also rotate this in pretty much any orientation you like. It is solid metal and it stays in any place you're going to put it. It doesn't just flop around. And when it's in the case, it sits flush. Pretty nice. Goes in the phone really easily. It does feel nice in the hand. The only thing is it's slick. So that's something you really might not want. The buttons on the side are nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we look at the phone from the side, you can see that it does have a raised edge around the front of the phone. It adds a little bit of extra bulk, but not too much. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power and our volume buttons on the side. There's also a slightly more raised edge, seems like in the corners. That might just be me, but it definitely looks like it's there ever so slightly. On the back, again, it's got a nice soft, smooth feel to it. It's frosted, doesn't show any fingerprints, but it does show the color of your phone. It's got this MagSafe ring that's also magnetic, and I'll show you that in just a minute. And we also do have a raised edge around our camera lenses as well. So for the kickstand, they thought to make it rotatable so you can use the phone in a landscape or a portrait mode pretty much any way that you like. So if you rotate this down, you can use it in a landscape mode like this, and it pretty much angles in a lot of different ways. Or you can also rotate it so you can use the phone in a portrait mode as well and kind of even lay it down more angled towards your face. Works out really well. And like I mentioned before, this ring itself is also magnetic, so it'll stick to metallic things. So if you have a refrigerator or something like that you want to stick your phone onto, you can actually do that. Now this does also double as a MagSafe accessory, so if you have a MagSafe power bank here, it clips onto the back rather strongly and it'll start to charge your phone. The only thing with these magnetic rings that come out is they actually, when you pull off the MagSafe accessory, it'll actually pull up on that ring. It's not horrible, but it does kind of make the phone rock back and forth a little bit. I don't think it's a deal breaker, but it's just something I wanted to mention. It's actually, it's got a pretty good strong hold on the phone, so you don't have to worry about your MagSafe accessory just falling off. And you can also regular wireless charge through this case as well. So the one good thing about this magnetic ring is because it is magnetic, it gives the case a much stronger MagSafe hold than some of the other cases might, but it has that kind of flimsiness where it kind of pulls off the case when you're pulling off your MagSafe accessory. That may or may not bother you. It's just something I wanted to mention. And this case has also been military grade drop tested up to 12 feet. So this is definitely another nice kickstand case that incorporates a MagSafe as well. So if you're looking for a case to protect your phone, give you a kickstand as well as MagSafe, you definitely might want to check this one out. And here we have a case by FNTCASE. So here is the case. It is clear. It's got MagSafe built in. It does have a firm hard back surrounded by a firm rubber edge, and it also has a plastic cover that you're going to want to take off before you put your phone in. So we'll put our phone inside the case here. And there you go. Feels nice in the hand. It's got a little bit of a grip to it. It also seems to have some reinforcements in the corners for some extra drop protection. Buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we look at the case from the side, you can see it does have a slight raised edge around the front, and it also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone. You can see all those little bubbles in the corners. There's no texture or anything on the sides. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button and our volume buttons on the other side. And on the back again, shows out the color of your phone. It's nice and clear, but it will probably show more fingerprints because it is so crystal clear. It does have Magsafe built in, and we have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses. Not a bad case. If you happen to have a Magsafe power bank like I have here, it clips really nice onto the back, and it'll start to charge your phone. It's got a nice strong, that's crazy. This is probably one of the strongest magnetic holds on a clear case that I have ever seen in my reviews yet. It holds onto the back really nicely. A lot stronger than some of the other cases that I've tested. Very nice. So if you're looking for a clear case that offers some drop protection, it's got Magsafe built in, the FNTCASE is definitely one I would check out. And you can also regular wireless charge through this case as well. That's crazy. I am pretty impressed with how strong that Magsafe ring is. Very nice. The only thing I think they could have made a little bit better on this case is the raised edge that goes around your phone, because if you're going to be using a tempered glass screen protector with this case, it's probably going to sit flush with the case itself because there's such a small raised edge. That's the only downside that I can see to this case. And here we have a case by SUCNAKP. So here is the case. It is made of a very flexible type TPU material. It does have like a slight texture on the inside, but it's made of the same material as the material on the outside. It's got kind of like a really cool box type look on the back. Goes in the phone pretty easily. Feels good in the hand. The little edges on the side give the phone some grip. Buttons are nice and pressable. Very clicky. If we look at it from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge all the way around the case. We do have the slight texture on the side along with these ridges. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our textured power and volume buttons on the side. And if we look at the back, you can see that it's got those same raised edges. It's kind of textured as well, feels pretty cool. It also doesn't show any fingerprints, and we also have a really nice raised edge around our cameras for protection there. This is like the second case that I've seen that has this much protection for the rear camera. It's pretty nice. You can see that it also doesn't add much extra bulk to the phone. Really nice case. Now because we do have these raised edges, let's see if it still wirelessly charges. And it does, no problems there. So it's a pretty cool looking case. Again, it feels nice in the hand. It's got a nice protection on the back for your camera, and it just looks really cool. Very cool case. And here we have a protective case by TUDIA. So here is the case. It does have a two-piece design, and it's also been military grade drop tested. It's got kind of like a soft silicone type feel on the back. It is a firmer, harder plastic surrounded by a softer rubbery type material. And like I mentioned before, it is a two-piece design, so this does come outside of this plastic case, and it also has MagSafe built in. So here's that firmer type of TPU case. So we'll put our phone inside the case, and then we'll just press on this back cover. kind of snaps into place. Looks pretty cool with the two-tone color. It does feel good in the hand, but it is slick. So you may or may not like that. It's that smooth, rubbery type material, but it is slick feeling. As far as the buttons, nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see it does have a slight raised edge. We also do have a little bit of texture on the bottom that I wish they would have just put up for the rest of the way to make it not as slick. I do like the two-tone color though. We have our cutouts on the bottom. We have our power button and the volume buttons on the side. And on the back, it's got kind of like this texture with the smooth type silicone feel, even though it is a hard plastic. And we also do have a raised edge around our cameras too. So that's pretty nice. Now, because this does have a Magsafe built in, you can use it with Magsafe accessories such as this power bank here. Clips onto the back and it charges your phone. The only thing is it does have a fairly strong magnet, strong enough that it'll keep the Magsafe accessory on your phone, but it's not the strongest that I felt. But it does seem to charge perfectly with the case. And you can also regular wireless charge to this as well. So it's really not a bad case. I just kind of wish that it wasn't as slick feeling. If they would have just put some texture or something along the sides, the case would have been a lot better. I also think this does come in a couple different colors as well. Definitely not the worst case, but it's not the best. But I will have to say, out of all the other two-piece design cases, this one does definitely seem to stay together the best. And as far as the sides goes, they're pretty firm, so I don't think you have to worry about sagging. And here we have a leather wallet case by JEEHOOD. So here is the case. As you can see, it looks like it's leather, but it is definitely not. It's made of like a cheap leather knockoff. It kind of looks like leather, but you can definitely tell as soon as you feel it. Now the cool thing about this is the card holder does actually detach from the case itself. It's only held on by magnets. The only bad thing with that is this can fall off. But as you can see, the whole back portion of the case does have that same kind of fake leather to it as well. And on the inside of the case, it does have like this soft material, and it's got like a rubbery type edge. Put our phone inside the case. Goes in the phone pretty easily. As far as the buttons, they're okay. They're clicky. They're a little bit hard to press in. It does feel nice in the hand. It is slick because of this totally flat, seamless edge. There's no texture or anything on the side to help keep it in your hand. If we look at it from the side, you can see that this case has the smallest raised edge around the front of the screen that I've ever seen on any case. So if you're going to be using a tempered glass screen protector, it's definitely going to come up over this case. It does seem to keep the phone nice and slim, minus the card holder on the back. We do have our cutouts on the bottom here. We have our power button and our volume button on the side. We also have a lanyard hole. And on the back, again, it's got like that leather type look to it. Turn off my flashlight. And again, you can also remove this. You can see how thin the case is there. It does have a slight raised edge on the back with this leather. It feels nice and like leather. Feels kind of like leather. It doesn't really smell like it. It smells kind of weird. But let's see if it does have Magsafe. No, doesn't have any Magsafe, but you can definitely feel either the metal or the magnets inside the case. And we also do have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses. So let's take a look at this wallet. It does have this little clip that holds it closed. And it looks like you can put 2 cards on the left here. There's also, looks like 2 pockets where you can put stuff on each side and 1 more card here. So let's check out the cards. Oh, actually, I didn't see this here. You can put another card there. So it does hold the cards in place. You don't have to worry about the cards falling out, and they're fairly easy to get out as well. Here's that extra pocket on the bottom I was telling you about. Also holds the card in place very nicely. We have the two extra little holders inside here, and then that one on the top holds your card in place too. So there's actually quite a few different little pockets in this little holder, which is pretty nice. Again, the only thing is it might get knocked off of your phone at some point. It's got a fairly strong magnet on it, but I think the more stuff you put inside, the easier it's probably going to come off. I don't know, it's just something to keep in mind. I like the idea of you being able to take this off, but there's a chance that it might get, knocked off while you're, walking or something like that. If it gets, caught on something and comes off and you don't realize it, just something to keep in mind. And then when you have the wallet on the back, if you don't have bigger hands like I do, it might be a little harder to hold the case. It's also something else to keep in mind. I don't know, I really prefer the real leather cases versus this kind of like cheap faux leather. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Definitely, it's not a horrible case, but because it is a little bit slicker and it might, cause you to drop the phone, and because this might come off, without you knowing, I would probably not recommend this case. And if you want to wirelessly charge, you won't be able to do it with the back card holder on there. You will have to take it off. Let's see if it wirelessly charges. Yes. So if you take this piece off, you can wireless charge through the case. And then let's see how thick this case would actually be if you decided to load it up with a whole bunch of cards here. So if you were to load up this thing with every card you could, it will still easily close, but that's how thick it's going to get, and it will still hold on to the back of your case. And one other thing with this wallet is because this back here has kind of like a metal plate in it, it's not very easy to get out any card you may have put in this side. You will have to kind of like dig it out over that plate. And then here we have a case by HENSINPLE that does come with a tempered glass screen protector. So here is the case. It does have a kind of a frosted back that is nice and firm. It's got Magsafe built in, and like I mentioned before, it also does come with a tempered glass screen protector. So we'll put our phone inside the case. Feels nice in the hand. It's not slippery, but it does have a smooth type of rubber feel to the sides. As far as the buttons are nice and clicky, easily pressable. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see that it does have a slight raised edge on the front, and it also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone. We do have kind of like a little cutout on the side here. It kind of cuts in. Not necessarily a cutout, but it cuts into the case. On the bottom here, you can see we do have our cutouts. On the other side, we have a lanyard hole, our power button, and our volume buttons. On the back, again, it's got a really nice, soft, smooth feel to it. It's also frosted, so you can show off the color of your phone. We've got that Magsafe ring. And the thing about this case is it's got the actual case that kind of covers the phone. It doesn't just have the edges that come up to the camera itself, but you can see how much of a raised edge there is to protect that camera, and I actually like that. This is probably the third case that I've seen that has such a good protector for the camera. Not too bad. So let's test out our Magsafe. We got our Magsafe power bank here, clips onto the back, starts to charge your phone. And it's also got a decent hold on the phone as well. You don't have to worry about your Magsafe accessory just falling off. It's on there pretty good. Definitely a plus. So the case seems pretty nice as it is so far. I really do, again, like the fact that they put such an aggressive protector on the cameras. And the case just looks really nice. So let's install the tempered glass and then we'll do a couple tests. So the first thing you're going to need to do is to thoroughly clean off your screen with the included alcohol wipe. We're going to keep our case on to kind of act as a guide. And then we'll dry it off. Then you can remove any dust you see with our dust stickers. Then what I would recommend doing is taking the guide stickers and putting them on the screen protector just like this, making one off center so you can see where the camera cutout is on your phone. Then take your screen protector. We're going to peel off the bottom protector, making sure it's on the bottom side, and make sure your camera cutout is going towards the camera on your phone. So we'll peel off that protector, and then we'll hold on to the guides to install the screen on our phone. Then once you have it in place, you can kind of run your finger up the middle to help it install on your screen, but it should start to adhere pretty much as soon as it touches the phone screen. And we'll take a look to see if there's any bubbles. So I don't see any bubbles, but you can kind of use your wipe to kind of wipe down the edges just to make sure that it's down on the screen. And looking pretty nice. So as you can see, there's the cutout for our camera, perfectly placed. There is a slight gap on the top, on the sides, not so much on the bottom just because of the way that the screen protector was placed. So it may or may not be case friendly with other cases, but it seems to work perfectly fine with the HENSINPLE case. Now as far as touch, screen is nice and smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone, and the edges are also nicely rounded off. Now let's see how good the fingerprint rejection is. Seems to do a pretty good job at rejecting fingerprints. There's only slight smudging on the bottom here, which you can very easily just wipe away. Nice and clean now. Let's check out the clarity. Screen looks nice and clear. As you can see, touch is working perfectly fine. No issues. So now let's take a look at the screen and see what it looks like as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And as you can see, there's only a very slight rainbow effect. But if you're looking at it dead on, like I am here, you really don't see that until you start looking at the screen from other angles. Definitely not a deal breaker for me. And in case you're wondering, with the tempered glass screen protector on the phone, this is how much of a lip is left on the case. So I will tell you that I just had to re-input my fingerprints after putting the screen protector on because they weren't working. And if they're not working for you, you'll most likely have to do the same thing. And also I would recommend going into the settings under display and turning up the touch sensitivity of your screen. That'll also help you with your fingerprints. So now we're gonna just test out our fingerprint sensor, and to show you that it's only my fingerprint sensor, there's no ring around the camera to show you that the Face ID is working. I don't have my face registered in the phone, so it's just purely going to be by the fingerprint sensor. So let's check that out. And the fingerprint sensor seems to be working pretty good. You might have to maybe try it a couple times for it to work, but it seems to be working fairly well. So I'm liking everything about this case, and the screen protector seems to complete that protection. So now let's move on to the scratch and the drop test. So we're going to start the test by dropping a 2.4 ounce steel metal ball at a starting height of 2 feet. If the screen protector doesn't crack, we'll move it up foot by foot until it eventually does. So here we go at 2 feet. Moving on to 3 feet. 3 feet. So this screen protector lasted until a 3-foot drop. Now let's move on to the scratch test. So regular tempered glass starts to scratch around a MOUS hardness number 6. So we're going to start off the test with a number 5. Then we'll move on to a number 6. And then finally a number 7. So if we take a closer look, you can see that there are no scratches at the number 5. There are slight at a number 6 and about the same at a number 7. So scratch resistance seems to be pretty standard for tempered glass. So installation for the screen protector was pretty easy. It also does seem to be case friendly. It only lasted up until a 3-foot drop, and scratch resistance seems to be pretty standard for tempered glass. So this case does seem to be pretty nice. It comes with a tempered glass screen protector. It also has some pretty good protection for your camera. I do like the Magsafe and the feel of that frosted backing. The only thing I would like to see on this case that would make it that much better would be maybe some texture along the sides, just to get rid of the smoothness. I like a little bit more grip, but other than that, not a bad case. If you guys have stayed with me this far, thank you so much for all your support. And if you're enjoying the video and you found it useful, it would really help out the channel if you gave me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And now that I've had a chance to test out all those cases, I'm going to let you know which ones that I like the best. But before I do that, I need to tell you which case I thought was the absolute worst, and that goes to the OTTERBOX Commuter case. Now this case is a 2-piece design, and because of that, the case doesn't seem to fit together very well, especially when the phone is inside the case. The buttons on the side are also mushy, so it doesn't give you that nice clicky feel. And as far as the type of material that they use for the inner core for this case, it's very flimsy, which will cause it to bow out over time. Now, as far as the cases that I actually liked, the first category is going to be for the best leather case, and that goes to BELLROY. This case is covered in all leather and it's got a nice soft suede interior. It's got Magsafe. It looks great on the phone. It's got metal power and volume buttons. The only thing about this case is that you may not like is it is a little bit slick, which is on the verge of being too slippery. So if you're worried about dropping your phone, you may not want to get this case. The next category is going to be for the best slim case, and that's going to go to the SPIGEN Rugged Armor and the Ringke Onyx case. Both of these cases look and feel great on the phone, and they're also not that expensive. And they are going to offer your phone some drop protection while keeping it fairly slim. The next category is going to be for the best clear case, and that's going to go to FNTCASE and CASEOLOGY. Both of these cases are nice and clear, and they're made for 2 different people. Both of these cases do look good on the phone, and they feel good in the hand. They also offer a little bit of grip, and they keep your phone fairly slim while offering some decent protection. Now the biggest difference between these 2 cases is the FNTCASE offers you Magsafe but does not have a kickstand, whereas the CASEOLOGY has a built-in metal kickstand but doesn't have any Magsafe. So it really all depends on what's more important to you. The next category is going to be for the best kickstand case, and that's going to go to TORRAS. This case is definitely one of my favorites. It feels really good in the hand, looks good on the phone. I like the fact that it does have a metal kickstand that sits flush with the case and also has Magsafe built in with a nice frosted back. The next category is going to be for the best minimalist case, and that's going to go to THINBORNE. I've reviewed quite a few of the THINBORNE cases over the past couple of years, and they all have been great. They look and feel great on the phone. They're made of 600D Aramid fiber, which is super strong, very light, and very thin. It's got Magsafe built in, and they also throw in a tempered glass screen protector to help protect your phone front and back. And if you do decide to pick this up, don't forget to use my discount code so you can save some money. And then for this last category, we have the cases for the best drop protection. Here we have the MOUS Limitless 5.0 Aramid fiber case. We've got the POETIC Revolution, and we also have Base's ProTech series case. I absolutely love the MOUS case, and it's going to be my number 1 out of these 3 because it doesn't make your phone super bulky, but it adds some really great drop protection. It looks and feels great on the phone, and it also has Magsafe built in. And then we have the POETIC Revolution case. Now this case is definitely going to add some extra bulk to your phone, but it's also kind of cocooning your phone inside the case with a 2-piece design. It also has a built-in kickstand. It doesn't have any Magsafe, but it also comes with a film screen protector as well to protect your screen. And then the last case we have here is the base ProTech series case. This case is also a two-piece design, but the inner core is not flimsy like the OTTERBOX Commuter case. It's been military grade drop tested up to 15 feet. It looks great and feels great on the phone. And once you add in a tempered glass screen protector, your phone will be protected 360 degrees. Now, if there was a case that you didn't see in this video that you'd like to recommend for future videos, let me know in the comments below. And I'd also really like to know what your favorite case was and why. Thank you again, everyone, for all your support. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.